Hello.
We're back.
We're back.
It's lights out.
And away we go.
So, one of the pundits said this weekend, when it rains here, it's Singapore's. And I thought, I'm like, I mean, it's kind of funny. It's kind of not
It's
funny.
terrible.
It's terrible.
It's terrible is what it is.
But it's also kind of funny.
It is kind of funny.
When it rains here, it's Singapore's.
When it rains, it's Singapore's.
I don't actually think anyone laughed at that either. Like, none of the other, nobody else laughed.
Oh, do you know what was really funny? There was a bit in the live commentary that I can't remember, but Crofty makes a joke and Martin Brothers goes, huh, yeah. And then just moves on to the next thing. It was the funniest thing. I can't remember what he says, but it was just so funny. It was so awkward.
To be fair, they have so much that they have to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, and so much stuff that they probably, realistically, there's a lot of stuff they probably just do lots of like filler.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when something hasn't happened for like, a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Like nothing of any interest, no passing or anything. They must literally just be filling.
Yeah. Well, it's like,
Making silly jokes.
It's where It's Lights Out and Where We Go came from, wasn't it? It's like, it just gives them a moment to like see stuff happen and then start getting into the commentary.
It's genius.
So it's probably just like more of like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Just talking about stats. You know, it's a really boring race when they go to the pit wall and talk to one of the pit crew team. That's when they've really run out of stuff. Yeah.
Let's talk to whoever.
Yeah, let's just interview someone. Yeah. Because that actually didn't happen this race. What a race.
I don't remember it happening this race.
No, it didn't. It didn't happen this race. No.
It's so good.
Such a good race.
It was so good.
Such a good race. Such a good race. We start with quali.
You start with quali. Go
Yeah. Red Bull. Sorry.
Stop Red Bull bashing.
Yeah, we need to stop Red Bull bashing. But yeah, they were slow. They looked awful. They were like a terrible car in qualifying.
I'm just glad that they're actually human.
Yeah.
They're not robots.
Yeah.
And they haven't made the perfect car.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
goodness for that.
Yeah. Do you know what's really weird is when Mercedes were like dominating all season as well. Mercedes were really slow in Singapore.
That's weird.
Like in 14, 15 and 16, it was like 16 they were so far ahead they were fine. But like 14 and 15, it was like turn up to Singapore and they were like Red Bull, like really slow off the pace.
That's so random.
So random. And then they dominate the rest of the season.
So yeah, so by next race, it'll be back to normal.
Yeah. It was like almost like the exact identical thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Japan is going to be domination, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. They'll come back flying, won't they?
Yeah.
But it was short, but it was sweet.
Yeah. It's interesting that the only race that there wasn't a Red Bull up front, the battle for the lead, was probably the most exciting battle for the lead I think we've ever had.
Oh, it was, yeah. The whole race you were thinking, anyone could win this.
Yeah. Genuinely.
Depending on pits, depending on strategy, depending on,
such a good race.
I couldn't take my eyes off it.
No. And it was like, to be fair, there was bits where it was like just lap after lap sort of them following, but it was just so close to the front. It was like the top 6 or top 5 were like 2 seconds away from each other.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah. And then obviously the last few laps were just incredible. Didn't know what was going to happen, who was going to win.
It's just amazing.
It was amazing.
Oh, where do we start? Should we go from the beginning? Should we go team by team? How do you want to do it?
However you want.
There's
just
so much
throw stuff out.
Let's talk about Red Bull then, right? Terrible qualifying. Really off the pace.
Terrible race.
I feel like no one noticed that Perez had damage on his car from the first lap. That's why he was so slow.
Where was that hit? Where was the hit?
This is what I'm saying. No one noticed it. He's the one who took out Tsunoda. He crashed into Tsunoda.
Why have I missed that?
And because everyone missed it. The commentators missed it. Everyone missed it. He was missing his end plate on his front wing.
Was he?
All race. And they didn't point it out once. And they were like, oh, Perez is not on the pace.
Do you know what I was going to say? Yeah. I was going to say, great coverage in Singapore as well. Take that. I was glad I didn't say that too early.
I don't even think the coverage was that good. Because there was the Hamilton pass where he passed on he went outside Perez, right?
Yeah.
And then, but it was off the track or something, wasn't it? But then they never showed the replay.
Yeah, they did.
Did they? They didn't.
Yeah.
I never saw the replay of it. Not where they were like, he went
right at the start.
No. That one they did.
He got pushed off.
Yeah, but there was another time he went off the track and the stewards investigated it and they never showed a replay.
Oh, God. It's either I've got terrible memory, which to be fair I do.
They genuinely
or I
didn't.
genuinely missed it. or something.
Hamilton went down the main straight,
Yeah,
overtook Perez, I think, on the outside.
yeah,
But went off the track, like over the curb.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, to be fair, I'm not sure. I remember seeing a
They never showed a replay.
replay of that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do remember. Of course, I do, because Perez over the radio goes, "He went off the track."
Yeah. So there was a couple things that, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, let's go back to the start then.
Okay.
Obviously, Hamilton went off there.
Gave both positions back.
He did. So realistically, does it really matter?
No, it doesn't. No.
But then they said at the start they were like, he could not give the positions.
And take the penalty. But then you saw how close the finish was. So
Yeah.
actually, if he did take the penalty,
True.
yeah. And then,
We should have refreshed our
Sonoda,
memories.
huh?
We should have refreshed our memories before.
I
we
know,
started.
yeah. But Sonoda, he goes out, and then it's sort of just processional, isn't it?
What was Sonoda's issue? Was it just an engine
He
failure?
got like a puncher, but couldn't take it to the pits because he had too much damage.
Oh, with his hit with Perez.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He got the car off the track pretty well, didn't he? Just
He did, yeah. I
Thank
saw that
goodness for
straight
that.
away, and I thought instantly it's going to be a safety car, but he actually got it off the track
Yeah.
really well. And then they sort of were just managing, right? Like Ferrari, everyone was trying to manage and
Yeah.
not be too close.
yeah.
And Sainz did such a good job because their whole thing,
Sainz had an incredible race.
yeah, because like Ferrari was so smart, like genuinely Ferrari masterclass. Not gonna lie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Whoa. Wait a second.
Yeah, Ferrari masterclass.
Did I just hear that right?
Yeah,
I don't think you could say that. I think that's the first time that anyone said that for probably 4 seasons.
probably.
Probably about 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah,
Genius.
genius.
Wow. Anyway,
Yeah.
carry on.
So it was so smart because it was like keep the pack close together
Yeah.
so that everyone has to back off because they're overheating, and that no one can do an undercut and then undercut Ferrari basically, because if they're going to undercut, they're going to drop so far back it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So it was so smart.
It was incredible. And even right at the end, obviously, the last few laps with
With Sainz.
I've
Sainz
never
was so
heard, I've
clever.
never seen anything like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen it where he's gone, how close is he behind me? And they've gone, oh, he's like 0.8 whatever it is seconds behind. And then him going, I'm doing that on purpose.
Yeah.
I was like, that is genius.
So
have you
smart.
ever seen that before? Is that something that happens regularly? Like,
I can't say I don't remember.
I don't remember hearing anything like that.
Yeah, it's so
Specifically
smart.
keeping a car behind so that it stays fast enough ahead of the car behind him, Norris, Russell. How am I trying to say this? Wait, can you do it?
Yeah. So you mean like having his car and having the car close enough behind so that it gets DRS, so then the car that's trying to pass both of them can't get past them because it gets
Yeah.
into a train.
Yeah,
So smart.
it's absolutely genius, and I loved that.
Yeah.
Even though Russell did.
Yeah. I way bottled it.
Oh,
Because I think if he didn't do that, I think Mercedes would have finished 1-2 or 1-3.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because he did that,
Yeah,
it meant that they couldn't get past Lando.
Yeah.
It was so smart.
genius,
Genius. Well done, Sainz.
amazing. And Lando, I feel like Lando might have known it as well.
I think so.
While he was going around, he was thinking, he's definitely
keeping me there.
keeping me exactly where I
Because he
want to be.
did run away a bit, but he didn't run away far enough. He only ran away like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he dropped him back into it as soon as they started getting closer.
Why were the Ferraris so fast this week?
They have the fastest car in a straight line.
Yeah.
They got a car that's good. It's just very
But why did it not just tear the
hot
tyres?
cold. Because it was hard to overtake, they didn't have to push, which meant that they didn't, because they would just keep managing everything.
Right.
But because it was so hard to overtake, they could keep in front and not actually push the car.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And I think just the track type, everything, it was just working for the car.
Yeah.
The compound of tyre, like
Yeah.
the Ferrari were better on the mediums than they were on the hards. The Ferrari was slower on the hards, definitely. Yeah.
Thing is, though, someone had like an accident or something happened near the end of the race after the Mercedes put the 2 mediums on. So there was a yellow flag. Obviously, I think it was the safety, virtual safety car.
Yeah.
Then obviously Mercedes were like the only 2 that managed to go into the pits,
Yeah.
put the 2 mediums on and come back out. And that's when we thought this could be Mercedes.
great
This could be a
race.
proper great finish,
Yeah.
like last lap stuff.
Yeah.
But then there was definitely someone, I don't know who, that might have hit a wall or maybe had some sort of technical issue. And Martin Brundle said something like, we might have to go for a yellow flag or like a virtual safety car or something. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, this could
Yeah.
one, ruin the fun, and 2 ruin their race. Like they could not have any challenge, but thank goodness there was no yellow.
It was Bottas. Bottas had an issue.
Oh, was it Bottas' issue?
He parked it up, so it was fine. Like he did basically what Tsunoda did.
Thank goodness. Thank you, Bottas.
Thank you, Bottas.
You kept it so interesting.
Every time I saw like a flash of a yellow flag, I was like, oh,
yeah,
it's going to ruin the race.
Please don't spoil it.
It was like 2 safety cars was the perfect amount.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To keep it so close and interesting at the... Oh, man. That's what we want the whole year. If there's like no Red Bull, this would have been happening every race.
It's just such a close pack. And every race, it would have literally been like Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren, or at the beginning of the season, Aston, Ferrari, McLaren.
Yeah.
No, Mercedes, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. It was so funny. So me and my one of my work mates, I have to say workmate because he gets annoyed if I say work colleague.
Colleague.
Yeah.
Hello, colleague.
Hello, colleague. Me and him were messaging during the race, and I'm not even joking. So like we message being like a safety car could spice this up, and then Logan Sargent, I'm not even joking, like a minute later or like 30 seconds later, goes into the wall.
Oh,
on his own accord, by the way. He wasn't being pressured. He just went into the wall. It was so bad.
Oh, Logan.
Logan.
Oh.
And then, so we were like, no way. Like, literally, the timing was like on that minute.
Mm.
And then, when, then it sort of, when it like settled again into that like 1, 2, 3, 4, like not really anything happening.
Yeah.
5 with Leclerc as well. We both messaged again, being like, it'd be amazing if there was a safety car. And like, again, that minute, even like a safety car came again. And we were both just like, are we affecting the race? Like, both of us were just like, we're doing something. And we're liking how it's turning out.
That's amazing. Can you imagine if you actually had that influence on the race?
Like, safety car, nice.
Please now.
Yeah.
That was great. Oh,
I mean, it was smart from Mercedes, actually, because they saved brand new sets of mediums, didn't they? Like,
yeah.
They specifically in qualifying, like, went through the trouble of saving a set of mediums.
So their strategy was nearly
amazing.
Perfect.
Nearly is such a genius move, because it's a one-stop race. You're not going to be like, you need...
They were guaranteeing a safety car, really, weren't they? They were gambling on a safety car.
I'm pretty sure like 100% of Singapore's races have had safety cars.
Yeah, that's what they said, yeah. No, you're right.
But like, still, like, it still takes like, they've gone through all that effort. And then the first safety car came, it didn't really need time for, like, it wasn't time to put new mediums on, was it? So it was so fortunate the second safety car came.
Yeah, you didn't want to put the mediums on then, did you? Because you had so much, I think it was lap, between 15 and 20, the first safety car came out. You needed to be on those hards, really, didn't you, to last the race? Yeah.
I mean, Verstappen and Perez got screwed over by the safety car.
Yeah.
Did you see how tough to drive that Red Bull was?
Oh, it was all over the place.
All over. I think Max was driving angry as well. I think he was frustrated with how it was coming out.
Yeah. Well, he said, didn't he? He was like, was it him that said it's like being on ice? No, it was Alonso that said it's like driving on ice.
Yeah. No, I think it was Verstappen said it was driving on ice. Alonso said the car's terrible.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll get onto Alonso in a bit. But like that car looked terrible on those tyres. But when it put the mediums on, it was quick. It was a quick car on the mediums at the end. Yeah.
But is that not? That's been noticeable throughout the season, really, hasn't it?
They can't switch their tyres on throughout the season.
Yeah.
And I think Max was driving angry. I think.
Yeah.
I think he was driving frustrated.
Yeah, because he was probably because of how slow they were in quali. He was. He
was like having to overdrive, getting overtaken left, right, and centre. This is the first race this season Max Verstappen's been overtaken.
That must be so frustrating.
How crazy, like on track overtaken. How crazy is that? He's never been on track overtaken this whole season.
That's how dominant they've been. That's nuts.
And how dominant Max has been because his teammates not even overtaking him.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Insane. That's genuine. Like when I heard that, I was like, oh my life, that's an insane stat.
That's the definition of F1 dominance. To not be overtaken once.
Yeah. And to salvage a fifth at the end, like well done.
Absolutely, especially he drove out of his skin.
Damage limitation for Max, definitely.
Hugely.
Yeah. Perez, it's not a matter, but
no.
He didn't have a good weekend. Yeah,
no, of course. But when does he?
When does he? Wasn't it his 7th time he's not gone to Q3 in the fastest car?
That's so bad.
Obviously this weekend not, but come on now. Do you think Liam Lawson's taken his place?
Wouldn't surprise me. I don't
He's
see,
doing well.
He
He's
has been
also
doing well.
really well.
but again, I mean, it's going to be another situation of, you know, it's not a challenge for.
It's not going to be a challenge
again,
for Max. Yeah,
it's another driver that's not going to challenge him.
yeah.
So they're basically just putting someone in there for a seat.
Yeah.
Really.
I think Red Bull just wants first in constructors and first in drivers. I think that because they're going to get first in constructors this year, I don't see them changing Red Bull Perez this season. But I think if Liam Lawson continues this next season, I think Perez is out. Especially if the other teams close the gap.
When does
Because
his
if
contract run out?
Next season.
Next season. So he's got one more season.
Yeah. I think if there's a threat that Red Bull couldn't win the constructors and it's because of their second driver, then they'll kick him out because they want someone to do a bit better.
Yeah.
But technically speaking, like, Perez is doing enough because Max is at least winning all the time.
He is doing enough, and he's still in the fastest car.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still gone on pole enough times this season.
Yeah. I don't see them changing him out this season.
There isn't any need at the moment, is there?
No.
So what do you think about George's crash then?
Oh, I think he's seen Lando. This is quite easy to do when you're following a car. You sort of just take the same line as them because Lando's hit the wall as well, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's hit it very lightly, and I think that he's just gone the same route as Lando to like follow him in, whatever.
Yeah,
and he's just misjudged it. Hit the wall.
I just think I think he also was getting frustrated about the fact he couldn't pass.
I think so.
I think he was getting quite aggravated.
Yeah.
And then he was really trying to push the angle, you know, as wide as he could so that he could take the corner as fast as he could and all that stuff. And he just couldn't pass Lando for like 2 or 3 laps.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm on the mediums. I should be faster than him. I should be passing him.
Yeah.
And obviously Lewis was behind him saying, George needs to speed up. George needs to speed up. And I think just all this was going on in his head. And I think he just got a bit hot headed and just got too far that side and just hit the wall.
Yeah.
But I mean, but when you think about it, it's so stupid because it was so unnecessary.
It's so unnecessary.
In some ways, I'd have said, obviously, you know, you wouldn't do this.
Yeah.
You wouldn't. But in other ways, I'd be like, let Lewis through.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't do that. But like,
You wouldn't. Lewis, I think Lewis would have got. Lewis was faster.
He was. I reckon Lewis would have passed. I think Lewis would have passed.
Him. Yeah.
I think he'd have taken the.
George burnt out his tyres quite early.
I think he
because
did.
he was sliding near the end. Whereas Lewis caught up that 5-second gap to George even before they caught up to the back of Lando. So it's not like George was being held up.
Yeah.
So I think Lewis had the pace.
I think Lewis very much had the pace. I think he was flying.
Yeah. But the issue is George had the better weekend.
Yeah.
And George got himself into that position. So I don't think you should switch the drivers.
No, you shouldn't. I'm not saying that you should.
Yeah.
I'm just like...
I think a lot of people on social media were saying that.
I know, but I mean, you wouldn't.
You can't switch the drivers around and out. You can't take away a podium from George, especially when you've been faster all race.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's just like... It's just annoying because it should have been a Mercedes 3-4.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
It should have been a Mercedes 3-4.
It should have, which is way better than it being
a 3,
whatever it is, a 317.
Whatever.
It's just it was it's just annoying.
It's just annoying. Yeah, I think that I do see a lot of hate around George for people saying like, oh, he's not world championship material, whatever, because of this mistake.
Yeah,
and
it's only one mistake. Really, he's a very consistent.
Very driver. He has the odd mistake, but like
so does everyone.
Lewis Hamilton, 2009 Monza, crashed out final lap on his own in 3rd place.
Yeah,
like he's had 2007. He's crashed out in the China pit lane, lost the world championship because of that. Like Baku 2021, you could say Lewis Hamilton as well. Like and obviously Max has had times he's just crashed out. Vettel's had times he's spun out. Just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you're not a world champion.
No, of course. Yeah, no, I don't think anyone can start, you know, looking at his whole career and thinking this is the moment that means his whole career would.
He's not world championship. It's like he's still learning. He's only had 2 seasons in a good car.
True.
Like give him time to learn. Max has had from 2016 to 2021 was his first season that he won.
Yeah.
So it's like just give him a bit of time.
In you know the arguably best team, well, second best team at the time, and now the best team.
Yeah. So you need to just give drivers time in a good car.
Yeah, give him a break.
Yeah.
And he was still really good the whole race until that one moment.
He's been stellar all weekend. Hamilton's been better over the season, but George has been stellar all weekend.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to be gutted about it, but he just needs to bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would, if I was him, I would take the positives from it, not that negative.
Yeah.
I really would. I'd go, like, I had a great race. It was, I still drove fast. I made that one mistake. If I don't make that mistake, I'd have easily got a third, possibly a second. You never know. Something might have happened.
If he didn't pit, if they left George out and just pitted Hamilton, George would have stayed in second place.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think he should worry too much about it.
yeah. It's like, you know what? He's had a good weekend. It's a bit of a mistake.
There you go. Move on.
Shrug your shoulder, move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff like this happens. It's racing.
It is very
It is racing. That's the definition of racing. It's trying to push so hard. You want to make that, make up another place as much as and you make mistakes and stuff happens.
You know what? I feel like we've been harsh to Carlos for this whole season.
We've been brutal.
We've been brutal to Carlos Sainz this whole season. Well done. He's been
fantastic.
He's been faster than Leclerc for 2 races in a row now.
Yeah.
And he was the one, like, he fully deserved that race win.
Oh, agreed.
He won 100% driver of the day.
Yeah.
Fully didn't bottle it, didn't make a mistake.
Yeah.
He did amazing in Monza if you think that he held off a car that once it overtook him in like 3 laps was 10 seconds ahead, right? Like he's done unbelievable these last 2 races, and I take back a lot of my Carlos Sainz slander. I think that he's really turned the corner now.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
Very smart. He turned the corner.
Technical.
I 100% agree, and I'm actually really happy for him.
Great guy. Such a nice guy.
Such a nice guy, and absolutely fantastic. And he made a very, very entertaining weekend.
Very entertaining weekend. And Carlando podium. Carlando.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's brilliant.
Carlando is amazing. Oh, they look so like happy. They look so happy on Instagram.
They do.
Taking like selfies.
They're such good friends as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they both knew it when they got out the cars as well. They looked at each other like, oh man, yeah, you can't hate that. You just gotta love that weekend. It was just fantastic.
I'm gonna say best Grand Prix of the season.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But just because of how close it was, how exciting, you didn't know what was going to happen, but everyone was, you didn't know who was going to win, it was just...
Yeah, it was like the whole race, you didn't know who was going to come out on top.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
It was fantastic.
On a track that's notoriously hard to overtake, a surprising amount of overtakes because of the safety car and stuff.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Do you think there's an element of, because all the other races have been so bad, this one being good has made us feel amazing? Do you reckon there's an element of that, or it was just amazing?
I do think there's a little bit of that.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I think so.
I think that, because if you look at it, there was quite big chunks of the race that not much happened.
yeah. But for some reason, I was so engaged the whole time.
So, Dutch Grand Prix, Monza, all 3 of these races since the summer break have been amazing.
They have.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe starting to see some exciting F1 again.
It's giving 2019 vibes, where the first half of 2019 was really boring Mercedes domination. Then the second half of the season was really interesting, crazy races. So,
keep that going then.
Yeah, keep it going.
Yeah,
keep it going. Yeah.
What
have we got next up?
Guitar's next.
Guitar's next.
Who do you reckon that's going to favour? Obviously, other than the Red Bulls. I mean, there's the big, long straight, obviously, from turn 16 to
very
21.
fast sweeping corners.
Yes, I love tracks like that.
How would I describe that track? I mean, I'd give it Suzuka vibes, which we're going to see next weekend. Silverstone, similar-ish to Silverstone.
Yeah,
probably.
I love these
probably
sort of tracks.
Faster. It's probably a bit more like Brazil or like. Oh, I'm just trying to think. What's a track that we've had that is like that? I don't know. I think potentially we'd be looking at McLaren being strong. So I think Red Bull are going to dominate these next few races.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh well, then you've automatically made me.
Is it not Japan next? It's Japan next, isn't it?
Oh, it is Japan.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's my bad. I've literally got it up in front of me. Singapore, then the Japanese. It's Suzuka, so it's going to be great.
Suzuka's like my favorite. I think I put it as one of my favorite tracks.
You did. Sorry. I mean,
yeah, our bad.
Our bad. It's Japan next. Japanese.
I mean, I think all the things that I've said before stay the same. I think that Red Bull are just going to dominate this next race. I think they're going to come back and they're going to be like, we want to I think they're going to go for like a Grand Chelem. I think they want to go for fastest in every practice,
Yeah.
fastest lap, lead every lap of the race. I think they're going to want to go for that.
Yeah.
To be like, look, no, this was just a one-off. We're still by far the best team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But then, yeah, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me even remotely.
I mean, there was like murmurings that because of this new rule that they've put in where you can't have flexi floors and flexi wings, that now Red Bull have just dropped off a cliff because it's the first rule that's been implemented. But the reason they were slow had nothing to do with any of those things. So I don't think it's because of that.
Yeah.
If they're slow again in Japan,
There might be maybe.
then maybe it is that.
Yeah,
But
there might
the
be.
commentators were like playing it down. They were like, let's be honest, like they're slow because they can't fire the tires up. They have no grip. It's
Yeah.
not because their floor is flexing too much.
Yeah.
So
Okay, well, we'll see.
we will see. But I don't have high hopes.
And keep in mind as well, I don't want Red Bull to fall off a cliff.
I want it to be where
I want them
it's
to
like,
be in the mix with
Yeah.
everyone again.
Yeah, imagine if it's like Ferrari, Red Bull, McLaren, Mercedes, and then Aston Martin.
Possibly Aston Martin up
Yeah.
there, depending. Yeah.
Imagine if it was like that in like Japan and they're all in like a train of like 10 seconds between them.
Yeah. Perez P1, let's say, for whatever round.
Yeah.
If okay, well, Verstappen, doesn't matter, one of them. And then like a Leclerc 2, an Alonso 3, Hamilton 4, Russell 5, Lando 6, all the McLarens, get
Yeah.
them in the mix. And it's all of them just one behind the other
Yeah.
the whole time.
It would be amazing if it was just, it was just like, if that's the dream.
Swapping positions, see, that would be-
Because I want Red Bull to still be there winning races. I
100%.
just don't want them to be winning every race of the season.
You just don't want it to be as dominant as it is.
Yeah, and it's the same when Mercedes was dominating. It was like, this is great if you're a Mercedes fan, and I did enjoy it, but I wanted there to be competition and them to fight at the front. Watching Hamilton win by 30 seconds, I was like,
Yeah.
it is what
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
I would much rather a race like this weekend than any team dominating for a whole season.
Yes. Oh, mate. 100%.
That's the dream.
I'd rather my team I support be like last place and we have races like that every season
Yeah.
than a team just dominating every season.
Agreed.
Yeah. Every
Agreed.
race. Yeah.
So, Red Bull, come back next week, or whenever it is, 24th September, come back,
Yeah.
but don't dominate and be in the mix.
Thank you. We would appreciate that.
Yes, we would appreciate that very, very much.
We'll tell Adrian Newey to like just sabotage the car.
Yeah, just slow down a bit.
Yeah. Turn the engine down a bit.
Yeah, that's it. That's what.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
It is worrying though that like their race pace did look quite good in Singapore, even though they had terrible qualifying pace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On
On a track that's supposed to be bad at.
realistically, if you're, in the Red Bull team, if you're one of the drivers, if you're Christian Horner, you're just going to be like, I don't care about dominating. I'm going to dominate as much as I want.
Yeah.
And screw anyone else and their interesting races.
Even if he doesn't care for the stats, his yearly bonus this year is going to be mental.
Yeah, that will come out. That will be over the budget.
Well, fortunately, he doesn't count in.
No, of course he doesn't. But they'll just maybe take some out of
He'll
the
probably
budget.
make more money than their entire cost cap. They're going to have some nice catering next year, I reckon.
They are.
Yeah.
Meatballs, maybe. Some meatballs.
Probably.
Do you like meatballs?
Yeah, I love meatballs.
Yeah, love some meatballs with
Meatballs are
you.
great. Swedish meatballs from IKEA.
Oh, yeah, very nice.
Banging.
If you haven't had Swedish meatballs from IKEA,
Go have the Swedish meatballs.
yeah, don't even go to look at the IKEA furniture. Just have the Swedish meatballs.
Funnily enough, so when I used to go to uni, I get the train from Milton Keynes, and there's an IKEA right nearby. So every time I'd go, my mum would take me to IKEA. We'd have the Swedish meatballs. Wouldn't bother shopping at IKEA.
No, who the hell shops at IKEA?
And then
Me.
here's one. And then we'd go to the train station. So
real?
I'd just go eat the food. Yeah,
Why not?
Swedish meatballs. Check them out.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
To be honest, most of you that are listening will probably have had them.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, we do on our TikTok. Thank you all the people that have been watching and commenting on the most recent posts.
Oh yeah. Thank you
We've
very
had a
much.
bit of feedback and stuff from people.
It's nice.
It's lovely.
It's nice getting some feedback.
It's
not
cool.
There's no hate yet.
Not quite yet.
Yeah.
Give it time.
Give it time.
But yeah, lots of people liking it.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
We do appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's very, very kind. And to please interact more. Give
Give
more
us all your
opinions.
suggestions and stuff. Like, we really appreciate like when we get a comment and it's like an idea or something.
Yeah.
Like we had a comment about the blue flags actually, and the guy was like, "Yeah, but imagine the strategy involved if you had to like try and avoid back markers as well,"
Yeah.
which is still sort of a thing, but it's not really that much of a thing. Like you still think about traffic when you're getting that, but it's still not. So
No, it would
that
be.
was an interesting perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Love that sort of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. But
So
yeah, we really
keep commenting
appreciate the
stuff
comments.
like that.
Yeah, they're the ones who asked us to change the camera angle as well.
Yeah, we changed the camera angles, which I think I do prefer this as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you know what? Shout out to the one person who listened to our last episode.
Yeah, legend.
Yeah, we had one person listen to the last episode.
That was me.
Was it you?
Don't think so. I don't think I listened to it.
I don't listen. I mean, I don't listen to our. That would be weird if we listened back to our own podcast.
I did for the first few.
I did for the first few.
I did just
Just
obviously
to check them to make sure they were like. All
yeah,
right.
to see if there was anything else, really blatantly obvious that we needed to change.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
don't need to now.
But yeah, no. Shout out to that person.
Yeah, legend.
You're a hero.
You're a hero.
He listens the whole way through as well.
My guy,
My guy.
or girl,
Or
whoever
girl.
it is.
No, it's a guy.
What?
He tells me male or female.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
thanks
So
to that guy.
Shout out to that guy, that one guy who listens to our podcast.
And if we ever become big,
That
we're gonna repay the favor.
yeah. We'll bring him on. I actually know who it is, so we'll bring him on.
My guy,
Yeah,
whoever
my
he
guy.
is,
Yeah.
what a legend,
Hero.
hero.
Alonso, Aston Martin. I mean, we said it at the start of the season.
Drop off.
Everyone seems to be talking about it and now surprised. I'm not surprised they've dropped off.
No, you did say.
I did say.
You did say.
You copy a car, you don't understand how the car works. You're not going to then be able to update it because you need to understand how you've got to that position
Yeah.
to then be like, oh, so we did this to do this, and then maybe if we do that slightly different, then we can get this sort of thing.
Yeah. So you're like trying to learn a car while trying to improve the car at the same time,
Yeah, which is
which doesn't.
tough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they've just decided because of how the shareholders and everything's working, maybe they've already got their bonuses and they please the shareholders enough this season. They just thought, we're not doing anything to this car, and next season we're going to bring stuff in.
Well, if they're doing that, then that's great.
Yeah.
Then
So
fair play to them.
maybe they're just trying to save costs, don't have to ship stuff out, whatever. But I mean, McLaren, if they continue at this difference, McLaren might overtake them,
Yeah.
which would be big loss of money.
that would.
So I'm not.
Well, maybe
too sure.
maybe they're just putting their hopes into the fact that Alonso and Stroll do enough in that
Yeah.
car.
Well, Alonso doing enough. Stroll's
Alonso,
not really doing anything,
yeah, Stroll's not done really anything.
He had a hefty impact. That's expensive.
That
An
was a
expensive
bad one.
impact. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
classic Stroll.
Testament to F1 safety, though. Like, I don't think it even crossed my mind that he'd be injured,
No,
which is
neither
quite
did I.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
That's two injuries
the
in
funny.
Ricardo and him.
Yeah.
Two injuries in
Two
the space
injuries
of like
recently,
2 or 3 races.
Yeah. It's like, the funny thing is like, I looked at the crash. I was like, okay, yeah, the car's destroyed. I didn't really think it was going to be too bad. It was too high a G, so the concussion risk was too much to put him in the race.
Yeah,
But
fair
like,
enough.
which is fair enough. But like, then you think about it, and he's gone into a barrier at 150 miles an hour.
Oh, it's gonna work.
And you're like, imagine if you're in a normal car and you go into a wall at 150 miles an hour. Your normal car probably can't even get to 150 miles an hour, let alone how destroyed it would be,
Yeah,
which
and
is
how much
crazy.
it hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
So it's like the fact that he can hit a wall at 150 and be fine.
yeah,
Well, fine. He's amazing.
yeah. It is
He is
incredible.
amazing. Yeah.
That's the same thing with like the Grosjean accident, like
Yeah.
a few years ago.
Oh, that was
How he
ridiculous.
survived that.
That's ridiculous. That crash.
I mean, that just shows how incredible. And well, obviously, it was. I think it was the barrier that people were blaming as well, weren't they? They were saying
It was the
that-
way because no
barrier
one
should
expected someone to crash on a straight, so it was.
But they
like,
should expect the worst everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
You
Like,
think that, but then you're like, it just doesn't, because that was like that's where those safety vehicles would come out
yeah,
and then go to like somewhere there'd be a crash, and it's such an odd place to have a crash because it's literally like they've gone in a straight line and then someone's moved over a little bit and then he's hitting. It's such a weirdly unfortunate thing that you don't really think of until it happens.
yeah. I guess so.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon they won't make that mistake now. They'll
No, they've changed the barrier.
They've
and
changed the
everything,
barrier.
Yeah.
I
They won't
think-
do that on other tracks as well.
absolutely.
Mm.
But yeah, any sort of crash. I mean, obviously, people say that obviously in the old days, the older drivers were even more brave than they are now, which is I do agree to a certain extent because obviously, like you say, if they crashed,
They die.
they basically just died.
Yeah. A different risk.
But I would say that if the cars were going as fast as they do these days, with that safety, everyone would die.
Oh yeah,
There would literally be no survivors.
yeah. They said that a big difference between the best drivers and the worst drivers in those generations was basically how willing they were to die. Because it was like if they weren't scared of dying, they'd push the car to near 99, 100%.
Mm.
But the ones who were, they wouldn't ever go near that 99, 100%.
Yeah.
So
Well, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I would never. Well, I wouldn't do it.
I don't have the skill to go to 99, 100% without stepping over.
Yeah.
Like the skilled drivers can stay at that percentage. I would go 101, 102.
I can't not crash on a Formula One game.
Yeah.
And I'm not going 100%.
Alonso made a mistake.
When?
Uncharacteristically locked up, went on in his final stint.
He did.
Put the softs on.
He did,
He was
yeah.
very unhappy with the Aston Martin. He was
He
like,
was.
"This car sucks." Yeah.
He was, which is unheard of for him this year. I mean, about this first half of the season.
He was saying
heard
it's the
it's
best
great
car
things.
ever. Like he loved it.
Yeah.
And then like first time he's been unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, do you not think he should maybe not have thrown his toys out the pram? Like,
It's very Alonso.
I feel like
I think he's very like that. He probably shouldn't have.
do you know what I mean? Like, you can't go the whole. It's because clearly you can't go the whole season going. It's absolutely phenomenal. Have a one-off race, which is okay, fine. You know, people have one-off races where it doesn't feel good, and then just go, now it's crap.
Yeah.
It's a bit like, well, it wasn't crap last race.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah. I think to be honest, he's probably just annoyed that he was fighting for second place in every race in the first half of the season.
Yeah.
And then now he's fighting for 8th, 9th, 10th. So he's
Yeah.
he's been a few races now. Zandvoort, wasn't he on the podium?
Not sure. P2. Was he not P2?
Yeah, he was P2, yeah.
P2.
So Zandvoort P2, Monza, they was somewhere, they weren't very quick. I think they were low points.
Okay, Monza. I can find it. Monza, he was P9.
Yeah, and then Singapore, this race, I don't actually know where he finished, to be honest.
P15.
P15. So,
Ouch.
you know, I don't blame him from going from fighting from podiums to that, to being annoyed. I don't actually blame him, to be honest.
Spa, he was 5th. Hungary, 9th.
Yeah, they've sort of just dropped off, to be
Yeah.
honest.
7th in
And then
Silverstone.
compare that to the start of his season, right? Compare that to, what was it, like 5 podiums in the first 6 races?
Yeah.
Like, proper hype train.
Canada P2. 7. Actually, it's actually more rain like. Okay, Monaco P2.
And then now, this is where it gets consistent, right? Like Canada, Monaco.
Here we go. Yeah, Miami P3. Azerbaijan P4.
Yeah.
Australian P3. Saudi P3. Yeah, Bahrain P3. So, I mean, he started the season very, very well.
Yeah, he started the season phenomenally. And I think
we
that,
know.
like,
It
you
is.
can see that, like, where the other teams have brought the upgrades, like around Canada, Monaco,
Yes,
then
that's
they drop
right.
off.
Yeah.
right? I mean, he had the fight. He almost got pole position in Monaco, and he was challenging for the win in Monaco.
Yeah.
And then now he's challenging for like 13th, 15th,
Yeah.
9th. Like, I can understand his frustration, but at the same time, stick by your team, mate. Don't slag them off. I think
Yeah.
after everything that they've done, the
Well,
big
they've
step
done
they've
great.
taken. You've moved to a team that was 7th in the constructors last year.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have bad races and stuff. Like,
It's going to happen.
just I don't know. I don't. It's very Alonso. He does this every year. I think.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
There you go.
But anyway, should we end on the good note, which was fantastic weekend
Best weekend of the season.
so far.
Yeah.
Hope for
So
more.
far.
Hope for more. Let's touch wood for more.
Touch wood for more.
But yeah, well done to Signs. You've done bits,
Well done, science. You done bits.
and very, very well done.
Yeah. All right, we've got a new thing that we're going to try.
Yep.
We don't have a name for it.
It's called Flip a Coin.
It's called Flip a Coin. Right. Basically, the premise of this is we get given a topic,
Yep.
and we're going to basically announce the topic at the end of this episode.
Yep.
And then we flip a coin, and depending on whether it's heads or tails, we have to defend either side of that argument.
Yep.
So the topic might be Galaxy is better than dairy milk, and then we flip a coin, and let's say heads is Galaxy, tails is dairy milk. If it lands on heads, and if Adam calls it or whatever, he gets one of them, I get the other one, and then the next week we have to debate it,
Yep.
and then you guys got to let us know who wins.
Okay.
Yeah. So this week's topic, we didn't want to go too controversial. We thought that we could.
What were we going to do?
We were gonna do Max versus who's better driver, Max or Lewis Hamilton.
Okay,
But we thought
against that one.
yeah, it's not a good idea. So we're gonna do what's the more dominant or what's the better car? We're just gonna go better car.
The better car.
Better car. So it doesn't mean we interpret it how you will.
Yes.
And we're gonna go with the RB22. Is it the RB22?
Yeah, sounds about right. So this year's Red Bull.
Yep. Or the W11 Mercedes.
Okay. Heads will be the Red Bull.
Yep.
Tails will be the Mercedes.
Yeah. And you're flipping.
I'm flipping on the flip a coin Google.
All right. Oh.
Flip the coin, flip the coin, flip the coin, flip the coin. I'm tails.
What did we say tails was?
Tails was the Mercedes.
Oh, so you get the Mercedes.
I get the Mercedes and you get the Red Bull.
Okay.
So that's for next week or that's
So for next week. We have to prep over the week, and then for next week we gotta put forward our arguments as to who we think's best.
I'm gonna
and then the few listeners who do listen have to let us know who wins.
I'm gonna smash you.
I'm gonna smash you.
No, I'm gonna smash.
I feel like I've got a harder job here, but I'm still gonna smash you.
You haven't. You've already not helped yourself.
No,
you've already let your team down by saying that one thing.
Yeah.
I feel like mine's going to be harder.
Can we cut that out?
No, you can't cut that out. You've just given me one up already.
No.
That's one up to me.
Great.
By admitting it.
Okay.
But we will still listen to your argument.
Yeah. My winning
with
argument.
a pinch of salt because I've won already.
No, we'll listen to my winning argument.
Absolutely not. Cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Yep. Tune in next week. We hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. Well, this week's Lights Out.
And take care.
Peace.